Ready? Okay. Who is Eva?
I am a mother, creator, very loving person. I'm a boss. You know, a boss says, you know the next word. I'm a lot. I'm a multi-faceted. I think that's the word. I'm just an all-over type of person. I have so many different characteristics about me, and I feel like I can go on and on about who I am. But most of all, I'm a fun, cool, loving boss person. I'm from North Miami. All my life, you feel me? Just a North Miami girl. Coming from a single mother home, I was all over Miami. So sometimes, most of the times I spent on the east side of Miami, but I dibble dabbled on the west side once or twice.
We was East Side Divas, East Side and West Side. It was a big beef going back generations. So it wasn't like some shit we started. It was always some East Side, West Side shit. It just depends where you live at. Like, and that's what that's what you rep. That's what you known as. If you stay on Money Ave, you're a Money Ave nigga. You stay on 6th Ave, you them 6th Ave boys. We was East Side Divas.
You feel me? But I'm an east side North Miami girl. That's where I was raised. So this is where it begins for me. This is when my first memories come to mind. When I think of my memories in my childhood, this is it. 110th Street, Peachtree Drive. This was a white house. I stayed here with my mom, my twin, uncle, cousins. A lot of us stayed in this house, and yeah, this is where my life started. But it didn't end here. It did not. We moved a whole lot before I could say we found a place called home. And I honestly feel like I never actually found a home with my mom because we were always moving. But she actually had bought this house, assuming that she was going to be able to afford it. I have a twin brother. I have an older brother. I have two older brothers. One is deported. He got deported to Haiti. I have a sister, so 3 brothers and 1 sister. A sister on my daddy's side, but I met her once. She's in the Dominican Republic. My mom, Marthy, she's a very Christian woman. My mom loved church. Thinking back at who my mom was as a person, I could basically explain her as a God-loving, God-fearing woman who really loved church. All her life is church, 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 and more church. She raised us the best that she could. You know, she did what she could. But as you guys know, being a single mom isn't always easy. So she struggled a lot. And I think that's the main reason why we moved so much and why we were never like stable or why we had like a poor lifestyle. No one really knew that because I never showed that I was living like a poor lifestyle, but we were really on the poor side. She's from Haiti, straight off the boat. She told me a story about her taking 40 days to get here. So I'll say I got my risk taken aside from my mom because she was a big risk taker.
We're rolling on set. North Miami Tales.
Woo! North Miami Tales. Woo! They gonna be like, woo! Eva'S twin brother. You know, a lot of you may know me as Eva'S twin brother. Came out after her, 18 minutes after her. Yeah, what else?
Too much stuff happened here. I remember me and my twin brother fighting off a molester that she had living here. So like I said, my mom didn't have it like that. So she would rent out rooms in the house. So people would stay here, come and go. And it was this one guy who stood out to me. Me and my twin would watch him and he would like look at women while they were showering in their bathroom, or he'll do weird stuff to me. Not touch me, but look at me a certain way. And me and my twin brother had decided one day to climb up a tree to attack him with rocks so he wouldn't know it was us. But that was something that we did. We saw him spying on a girl and we threw rocks at his ass because, like, why are you watching a girl take a shower, right?
North Miami. I mean, growing up in North Miami is like, I'll say it's like any other neighborhood. It's family oriented because there's a lot of Zoes, there's a lot of Haitians. So, you know, growing up, going to school in North Miami, it was very like, you know, it was tough because my mom was a single parent and, you know, she always, you know, we was always by ourselves, me and my sister. So basically, like, you know, I had to play a role. Like, we didn't have no dad. My dad was in Haiti. And And, you know, so we grew up with my mom. My mom was always at work 24/7. Like if she was not at work, at church. So we basically, you know, after school, we at the park, you know, we run in the streets. We do whatever we want. My sister, one place, I'm one place, but I always know where my sister at. She always know where I'm at.
I was a foot soldier. Like I would walk and walk and walk. I probably walked, the longest I've walked was like 2.5 hours of walking. If y'all from Miami, y'all know the Kmart on Biscayne. Well, that's like, I think 4 miles I would walk to North Miami High or Oak Grove, because one point I stayed in Oak Grove area, which is on 157th Street, 6th Ave area. So I walked all over the east side of Miami, even sometimes to the west side to go see Billy. I would walk. I just was fine with walking. I ain't have no car. But if I saw a bike on the street, you better believe I'll take that bike and make my little commute a little shorter. So I was a foot soldier.
Is your story at all similar to Eva'S?
No, we came from the same hood, but we had two different upbringings. And as far as households, you know, parents, it was, you know, very different. Bonnie, it was mostly her and her twin. She had older siblings, but I feel like it was mostly her and her twin and her mom, because there was a big age gap between her and the older kids. So the older kids was already out the house.
My mom, of course, wasn't home. See, my mom was the type of mom that was very spiritual. She's still very spiritual. You guys know she doesn't even like being on camera. She's a very spiritual lady. She loves going to church. But I feel like it was a form of neglect in a way where she would spend all of her time at church, all of her money in church, and it left none for us, you feel me? Like no quality time really, no Christmas, no Thanksgiving. My sister's the only person who gave me a birthday party one time. So yeah, my mom really wasn't here. My uncle, my aunt was, and we spent most of our time with them. Most of our time with their kids, our cousins, just hanging out. I used to always want to hang out with the boys and go play basketball with them and do sports. But because I'm a girl, I was not allowed to. So as a Haitian girl, you got to learn how to cook. You got to stay home, cook clean. So my aunt taught me how to, like, she tried to teach me how to cook and tried to teach me how to do like laundry and stuff like that.
We had some of the same obstacles, you feel me? But her challenges were very, you know, different than mine.
I was raised with boys. Like I said, I had 3 brothers, but we stayed with a few of our cousins and my aunt sometimes. So I was always around boys. I always wanted to hang with the boys. Boys always did fun stuff. Like they were always outside. And I didn't want to be inside, especially because my mom wasn't home. She was at church. My sister didn't really stay with us. So I wanted to be with the boys. I always had male friends. I'd be clicked up with the guys. I had guys lined up to fight for me if something ever went down. Like I always had a group of niggas behind me and who would ride for me. So I was really close to guys. Like
She know how to bring out her masculine energy when it's time, you feel me? So, and you know, she was whooping ass in middle school. So that was just, you feel me? She was doing it a lot. You know, when I look back now, I don't know what was going on. I thought my sister wanted to be Mayweather or something, but.
Well, I did grow out of that though when I got my little boyfriend. So when I got a little boyfriend, my first, I was like, you know, let me be a little girly. So I started hanging with girls too. And we was known as WSBB. It means we some bad B words. So I started hanging out with girls, and that's when I started like trying to, you know, do things to be more girly, even though I was always with boys.
It's a sibling bond, but it's a stronger bond because, you know, you grow up doing everything together, fighting, playing, learning things from each other. It was fortunate for me, I had a sister twin because, you know, you get, you know, a whole different side of the world. You see things differently. She helped me get a softer side and stuff like that. So she helped me be more in tune with, you know, females, women, I should say. So yeah, our bond, yeah, we click tight, man. You know, that's forever. Twin life to all the twins out there, man. You already know what's up. You feel me? Twin gang.
I used to have to walk to my elementary school, which is W.J. Bryan or North Miami Elementary School, because I just didn't want to catch the bus. I wanted to be free. I just felt like I didn't explore anything. Like I didn't go to McDonald's. I have never, like from up until age 13, I've never been to McDonald's, Chuck E. Cheese. I never did any of the things that normal kids do. I think I snuck to the park with my cousins and that was it. So now we are on the west side, y'all, and I know I told y'all I'm an East Side girl, but being that I'm from a single mother home, my mom was always jumping around, not because she wanted to, but because she had to, and she was struggling a lot. So we ended up here on the west side at a a church member's house. Me and my twin and my mom stayed here, and I remember when we stayed here, my mom kind of overstayed her welcome, really, because she didn't have it like that to move somewhere else as fast as they wanted her to. So they locked us out one night. I remember that night like it was yesterday because it was hard for me. They wouldn't open the door, and we knew somebody was home, but they wouldn't open the door. So there was a van outside, and we decided, well, my mom was like, let's just sleep in here. So we slept in the van, and the next morning we walked to my cousin's house and stayed there for another couple months or so. What was hard was having to get up extra early because our house is on the west side, but I went to North Miami Middle, and North Miami Middle is on the other side of the city, like on the other side. If I was to go to a school in this area, it would have been like TJ or any of the west side schools, but I really begged my mom not to change me, and she didn't have no time to really try to go register me for a new school and all that stuff. So we just stayed going to the school we was at, catching a bus early. Sometimes I'll have to walk a good 30-40 miles, blocks, probably even more than that, just to get to school. Well, disclosure, I'm not proud of the ways that I got money because it wasn't always the right way. But being raised how I was, where I was always told no because my mom didn't have it, I always felt like I had to take it. I remember the girl I was staying with over here is the first person who taught me how to steal. Like, she'll take us to the store over there across, like right on the main street, and put stuff in our backpacks, and we'll take our backpacks to school, sell the stuff that she put in our backpacks, and bring her back the money. It bothered me though, because I'm like, yo, I should be keeping this money for myself. So I kind of had like this mindset, like, I ain't gonna be selling your stuff. I started doing it myself at a young age. So 6th grade, I started, taking stuff. And I'm not proud of this story. Like, I hate when I have to tell people about me having to steal and stuff, but that was the only way that I could get the nice shoes or Nikes or Jordan or the name brands, because my mom bought me the non-name brands, the Goodwill stuff, the thrift store stuff. That's all my mom could afford. So I started taking on her hustle, putting stuff in my book bag and selling it at school, being a candy girl, just so I could buy nice shoes. And people thought I had it like that. Like, the kids in my school, like, I was very popular. They thought I had it like that, or I was, the pretty dark-skinned girl and all that. I had nice shoes. They didn't know how I was getting it. Since 6th grade, I was hustling off of what I learned here at, ironically, my church member's daughter's house. So let's say the school, like in school, there was a field trip, and my mom wouldn't give me the $10 that I wanted to go to the field trip. I would feel so bad about not being able to go, or it would make me feel like embarrassed to not be able to go. So I would take it, like I was that bad kid that would go in the purse and take it. And I feel like it started a path where the universe would attract situations where I would be presented opportunities to take things in order to either sell it or get what I want. Another thing I did when I was on my girly girl stage, I used to sell newspapers. That was my first real job. So I was selling newspapers around 6th grade, and I didn't really like having to give my manager the money at the end of the day. So I decided to switch it up a little bit, and like, I go out and ask for donations, or I would sell newspapers, but not really sell the newspaper, y'all. I don't like telling this story because it is not good. It does not look good, but it was my life, and that's what I felt like I had to do at the time. And later on, I realized a lot of the things that I was doing wasn't right, but money was always a problem for me, and I just didn't want to live like how my mom did. So everything that I went through here, and as everything that I went through growing up, as I'm gonna tell y'all, and as you guys will see, it's not what I wanted for my kids. Moving a lot, jumping from house to house, not being watched. It was not it, and I didn't want that for my kids.
Growing up in North Miami, it was, I don't know. I feel like Miami is different from every other state. Like, it was a very different upbringing. I don't know how to explain it. Like, it's different. It was the hood, but it wasn't like the ghetto, but it was the hood.
all of the things that I did was to better me in my mind and to make sure that I didn't have to do what my mom did or go through what my mom did. And that comes from living in the different homes that we lived at, being around people I feel like I shouldn't have been around, or molestation I don't care to talk about.
At first, I wasn't aware of her mistreatments, I should say. But after a while, when stuff started, coming out, developing, then I became aware. At first I didn't understand, being young, but over time period, I start understanding things better. I start paying attention and understanding where she was coming from, and understand what a lot of women have to go through, or young women have to go through, that a lot of people don't know until, somebody finds out, or they're strong enough to talk about, stuff that they're ashamed to talk about. So yeah, I didn't know at first, but I found out, and it hurt me, but we grew from that, and put God first, and we here.
A lot of stuff that I went through in my past made me who I am today, and made me who I was at the moment. Made me feel like fight or flight, where it's like I gotta get it some way, somehow, just to not be in this situation or not look like this. I wanted to look like all the nice people in school, but I had to get it how I had to get it, unfortunately. It's like I always feel like because of what my mom had going on when she was raising us, I noticed that money was a big issue for her. And I made sure, for me, I was like, I don't want money to be an issue. So I always had this mindset of, I'm gonna get it by any means necessary, like I gotta get it. Luckily, I ain't choose to prostitute or strip or nothing like that, but I figured a way. I ain't saying it was right, but it's how I learned how to get money. And it worked for me for a while I was staying over here. So that was my hustle when I was staying over here on the west side. So high school was one of my favorite experiences because I feel like I had more knowledge, more control. I remember somebody said to me, one of our teachers said, your mind is always changing and your mind is never gonna stay the same. Like right now, your mind won't be like this. And I kind of wondered, what does she mean like that? Like, how would my mind change? But now looking back, I see what she meant, because you learn as you grow and you become someone totally different. Here we are in apartments. This is my version of the apartments, because this is what the east side is known for. Like, we have a bunch of apartments on here, and this is actually 6th Ave right there. I used to stay on 6th Ave majority of my young life because it's affordable, it's cheap, and as you can see, I guess they trying to fix it up or whatever, but it was really roach infested, rundown type of lifestyle. I loved it though, because it was fun. And the poorest of the poorest, we always make the best of how we living. But most of my years was here in the east side. Lights was always off, water was always off, taking a shower with cold water most of the times. But it was nothing, because I'm a very humble person. Like, I could deal with stuff like that because I know my mom ain't got it. She didn't have it at the time. So if it was no water, it's nothing, whatever. I probably used to go to my friend's house in this apartment. I remember Hurricane Wilma came, knocked all the lights off, and we used to play Nick and Knock. We used to just have so much fun, like lots of fun. Most of the times, honestly, I was alone, me and my twin. He'll be doing his thing, I'll be doing my thing. But most of the time we were alone because my mom is very church oriented. So Monday through Sunday, she was always going to church, which left me being like a foot soldier. I was walking the streets, doing whatever I wanted to do. I remember when my mom threatened to kick me out because she found my my diary, and she found out that I wasn't this innocent girl anymore. Me and my boyfriend ran away to the top of this roof, and we stayed there for a little minute because I didn't want to go. She said she was gonna take me to Haiti. She was gonna send me to Haiti. And that was one of the threats that most of the Haitian parents that was what they usually say when they want to scare you. Luckily, she never sent me away because, your girl didn't want to go over there. But I went there. I remember going grocery shopping most of the time. Publix was down the street, so I'll do my groceries. She'll give me $50 and I have to make $50 stretch. That's why I don't mind eating my frozen foods, and I don't mind eating my ramen noodles and all that still to this day, because I grew up off all of that. So $50 will last me and my twin a week. This life right here is what made me me. The apartments, the foot soldier, the walk-in, the cheap groceries, all that, that's all me. and I don't hate it, you know. I'm grateful that I don't have to, you know, bring my kids up in this type of environment. It ain't bad now though, honestly, looking at it. It looks ugly though when they have the trash out like that. Like, this is low vibration. This is like low vibration, like cars all jacked up. This is like bandos, bunch of bad stuff happening in these apartments, man. But I love it. It's where I came from. It's me, you know. The apartments.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie, that one fight we had when it was us versus them boys, and we was the only girl that jumped in, and Eva'S had this chain, and instead of her hitting the person, she threw it, and we was like, "Oh, Eva'S, you did a buzz, kid. You supposed to slap."
I don't know why we was always beating up men. we was just them girls in high school. If you guys knew us, y'all know we was them girls. I was most popular in high school, and I see it's still like that. Like, I'm very popular in life still, but I was most popular. And I remember being when I was in school, I saw, like, imagine being a popular girl and then you see a guy come into the school out of nowhere, and I'm like, why is that guy so popular? He's getting so much attention. That's who Billy was to me. I'm like, who is this guy and why is he getting so much attention? Like, I never saw this kid ever before in my life, and out of nowhere he just pops up. And I remember having eye contact with him one day, and it was a That's So Raven moment for me. It was like, I looked at him and it was like, in my mind, I was like, what if I marry this guy? And I swear to you, I don't know why I thought that. It was just like, what if I marry him? I didn't know the guy from a can of paint, never spoke to him yet. But from that moment that I had that, I'll say, vision, I couldn't stop looking at him. Like, I just kept looking at him, and he kept looking at me too. And I told y'all, like, I got these eyes that snatch a man's soul. He was with a girl though at the time. I ain't meet no West Side boys. It would've been cool if I would've met Billy, because I'm really like a couple blocks away from Billy's old house. We should have met over here, but the laws didn't work like that, so we didn't meet here. Like I said, I had to fight for what I wanted, y'all. I had to get what I wanted. I always got what I wanted by any means necessary. That was always my nature. And to this day, I'm a bossy girl who likes to have things her way, you know?